Hey guys, I'm Marisol Moran and welcome to Soul Fitness and MMA. Today I'm going to be breaking down the potential fight between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Cormier, the new heavyweight champion of the UFC. So let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, I think that the fight between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Cormier is much more compelling than the fight that DC had with Stipe Miocic. And this is mainly due to the fact that Brock Lesnar has some crazy wrestling chops. Not only is he just a megastar, but he's a former champion for both the WWE and the UFC, and he's a Division I All-American wrestler. Like DC, was qualified for the Olympics and all of that, so he has an extensive wrestling background as well. But the way that the matchup has worked out with this situation is just nerve-wracking, to say the least. It's quite the equal matchup. It's pretty on par, which is going to make this fight interesting to watch. See how they're both going to navigate the fact that they can pretty much submit you on the ground. As both have won by submission in the past. However, both have also won via knockout in the past. I mean, most recently we saw that with Daniel Cormier. So this fight is going to be a dangerous one for both of them. They both know that they can easily submit the other person. They can easily knock out the other person. And I genuinely hope this isn't going to be one of those fights where they respect each other too much and they're actually going to interact and compete and fight one another in the octagon. Although given the energy that Brock Lesnar brought into the octagon on Saturday night, he's going to be able to engage Daniel Cormier in the octagon when the fight does actually take place. But the matchup between these two is going to be a dangerous one. With that, the MMA record of Brock Lesnar is a little bit interesting, and honestly, in looking it up, I was a little disappointed given how big of a star he is. So he has 5 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. So that's a bit slim given how amazing he is in terms of the eye of the public. But he does have quite the extensive WWE career. So that's probably where most of his fame comes from. But with that, one of his losses was by submission, and that was by knee bar by Frank Mir back in 2008. So it was a decade ago, but it can be done. So that might be something that'll give DC hope if he even needs that. Brock Lesnar is a giant dude, so we'll see. But the other thing when it comes to DC's record, which is a bit more impressive to look at in terms of numbers, he has 21 wins, 1 loss to Jon Jones, as we all know, and 1 no contest. So DC, again, has also won via knockout. 10 of his wins are by knockout, and I believe 4 of them are by submission. So he definitely has knockout power and likes to use it. So maybe that's what he'll go for with Brock Lesnar, but given Brock Lesnar's size, I don't know, maybe not. That'll definitely be an interesting thing to see, and I will be rooting for Daniel Cormier, so I'm going to be very nervous when that fight finally takes place. I do believe that it was Bleacher Report that announced recently that Brock Lesnar is now in the USADA testing pool for the UFC. So it may be that this fight can happen ideally, hopefully within 6 months, if not definitely within the year. So it's looking like this fight is actually going to be taking place. So all the people who are talking about how he's not even being tested by USADA for the UFC, he is now. So this fight's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And hopefully, the sooner the better, essentially. But to talk a little bit more about DC as the GOAT, I know this is something that's been talked about a lot within the MMA community, and people have been talking about how maybe this conversation is a bit of a moot point since the title of GOAT isn't officially bestowed upon anybody. But I think that's a little bit ridiculous because the whole concept of the GOAT has this allure and this mystique behind it. Somebody is the greatest of all time. They're just that amazing. And it's a fun conversation to have. Personally, at the moment, I don't think DC is at that level to be called the GOAT. Yes, the Jon Jones issue is a bit of a big one for me in terms of somebody being the greatest of all time. When you just have somebody that no matter what you do, they just always win. If you have that big of a challenge with somebody, how can you possibly be the greatest of all time? I think the way for DC to go about becoming the greatest of all time, just hands down, no questions asked, is if he submits or knocks out Brock Lesnar. I know he wants to fight Jon Jones again, but I think if he could just retire after that one fight, he'll be set. And that'll definitely be his legacy. So let me know what you guys think. I want to know. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about the matchup between Brock Lesnar and Daniel Cormier? Do you think he's already the GOAT? Do you think he will be the GOAT if he decisively defeats Brock Lesnar? Or do you think it's a moot point? And if you do, let me know why. I'm Marisol, and I'll see you guys next time.